Good morning, it's Jim from the maverickstar Observatory. Guys, we're going to talk about what's going on our planet in regards to what you're looking at right now. Yep, the equatorial jet stream. It's nothing normal. But before we do, as always, big thanks to those people that are supporting us on the Patreon and, you know, making those one-off donations on PayPal. That's what keeps our observatory going. And we are an international observatory with, you know, magnetometers and soon to have muon detectors all over this world, and we're collecting data on probably the most significant anomaly or anomalies that are taking place in our present time. So as you can see in the top right hand corner, we're supposed to have jet streams at 60 degrees north and south and 30 degrees north and south, and what we've got is that great big slug trail going all the way around almost the equatorial region, which is well out of place, guys. You know what we've got to be careful of here is getting complacent. You know, you come on here, probably watch a couple of my videos every week. We talk about the magnetic reversal, which is a rare event. You know, we're not talking about excursions, and the reason why I say that is because we are 500,000 years overdue a complete magnetic reversal, not an excursion. So the chances of this being that reversal are probably around about 80–90%, as opposed to, you know, it being an excursion, something that doesn't completely reverse and hold its polarity. Now, we can talk about this every day, 365 days a year, and what it's going to do is anaesthetise you to exactly what is going on, which means you're not going to be bothered in the end about standing on the track while the train's coming, and that is the last thing I want you to do. I don't want you to be complacent about what is happening, because it is very serious. You know, we do face some real possibilities of being the you know, intelligent species on this planet that witnesses probably the end of all biodiversity. And I'm not joking. We know what happens to a planet when it loses its magnetic ability to form a magnetosphere, which protects the atmosphere and the water on the surface. We know what happens when that magnetosphere goes. It's subject to a term NASA call sputtering, which is a stripping off of the upper atmosphere through ionisation or solar wind. We don't want that to happen to our planet. And, you know, we are in a position right now in this rare event, 780,000 years forward in time, in our present day, with this thing back at our front door, and we are watching some pretty unique anomalies come about. And this is one of them. And I think, guys, you should pay attention to this, because we are slowly seeing, you know, the mechanisms of our planet break down before our very eyes. And you know what? Mainstream media are not even interested. Mainstream global governance are more interested in fudging the figures on CO2 to match, and climate data to match, to say to all the public globally that this is all caused by ourselves, man, even despite, you know, all the evidence we can put in front of them. They are ignoring it completely, and they are dictating what the scientists are, you know, producing for them, and then manipulating the data. Like I say, they want the climate to match the rising CO2 in order for them to steal literally trillions of pounds off the public globally. This is a pandemic, guys. This behaviour and this religion about CO2 is a pandemic. And, you know, where's the money going? It's going in their back pockets. It's a gross misuse of public raised money. And we're not talking, you know, millions. We are talking trillions, guys. Where is the investment? Oh, is what I want to know. Where is the investment going towards the studying of this slowly mechanical, if you want to call it that, breakdown of our planet? Why aren't there everlasting funds being funneled into you know, studying the changes that are really taking place on our planet. You know, we are capable of doing anything. Really, we can do anything. I mean, we wouldn't have had the TVs and the telephones and the computers if we never said to ourselves, what if we could do this? You know, the technology over the last 50 years has been amazing, and we've brought ourselves to where we are today. Could you imagine if we was to extend that technological advancement for another 500 years, where we would be then? We would probably be in a position to do something about the climate on our planet in a way which favours all the species on the planet and ourselves, and makes it a better world for ourselves. That's called being a good steward, guys. And that's where we should be. That's even what our religious textbooks told us to do. Take control of this planet and make it heaven on earth. What we've got is a few imbeciles that are more interested in cash and sticking their conscience in a closet and feeding themselves and waxing themselves rich, and pretty much turning their back on the global public. You know, this planet belongs to every single one of us. It is our birthright. We were born into this world, and nobody should be in governance of that. You know, collectively we should make the changes for the better of mankind and the species on this planet, but that is not what is happening. You know, the truth is not being reported, and the lies are being peddled like nobody's business. And it is, I can't help but keep referring, guys, and I know some of you don't like me mixing science with religion, but I can't help the significance of what it says in that book, in that Bible. During the end times, people would rather believe a lie than the truth, and it is absolutely right, and that's what we see in our world today. More people that are drawn into trivial rubbish and believe in it, like CO2 causing climate change on our planet. There's a perfect example. Guys, it is worrying. One of the things I don't like having to keep referring to it, because I know some of you guys don't like it, but look, let's face the facts. Yeah, when we see something that is definitely synchronistic with where we are right now, you can't ignore those facts. Yeah, and I'm just going to bring your attention to something else it says in that book. It says during these times of tribulations or end times, yeah, that there will be a certain behaviour come about with the majority of the inhabitants of mankind on this planet, and he will have wickedness in his heart, and he will be corrupt. And if we just go back to when Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed, men were sleeping with men, women sleeping with women. These behaviours are back on our doorsteps today, and you know, they're turning the blind eye to it. This is, you know, I was in a video the other day just explaining to people, you know, you are part of nature. If you say you're not, then there is something not functioning in the brain cells. They're not connecting correctly in your head. If you believe you are not part of nature, it is like being the only person in a room that speaks a different language. You are abnormal if you believe you are not part of nature. And I'll just say this, we are 100%, all of us, part of nature. And, you know, that is why we can change the course of nature. Sometimes, you know, it's really difficult for me to explain some things, you know, to you guys, because one minute I was talking to a friend, we was just texting each other the other day. One minute you seem to know it all, yeah, and understand everything, and in the blink of an eye it's gone. You know, you've got a great idea and you think to yourself, I should have written that down, and then it's gone. But I'm just saying, you know, guys, the planet that we live on today is changing, and nobody's doing anything about it, and no one really cares. And you know what? These behaviours have come about before, and after they have come about, and you know, all I'm going to say is that after they come about, something terrible happens. Yeah, the great floods, Noah, Sodom and Gomorrah, and it's been promised for us in those days mentioned in that book. You know, if we keep ignoring the synchronicity of all these things, then, you know, we might as well just stand on that track and let that train hit us. You know, the global media have managed to convince millions of people, billions of people on this planet, the lie about CO2. The truth of the matter is that, you know, our oceans alone emit 800 gigatons of CO2 into the atmosphere. And if you total up all of man's input with regards to CO2, it only comes to 40 gigatons at the most a year. And then you've got another 800 gigatons being released from the land. So we're talking 1600 gigatons of CO2 going into the atmosphere, and what they're trying to say to us is that mankind is responsible for changing the climate by adding just another 40 gigatons. Please stop with the lies. Stop manipulating the data and act like scientists out there. You guys that work for NASA and you get your $100,000 a year, start earning that money. It is completely unjust the way this world works. You've got people like me, passionate about the topic, trying to bring the truth to people, struggling along with, you know, small amounts of cash, and just by pure determination and luck, we managed to get the equipment together. I've had to put myself through it, guys. Trust me. For the last 3 years, I had to teach myself programming. Not an easy task, I can guarantee you that. It was worse than learning a new language. You get it wrong, you miss one full stop, you miss one hyphen or something like that, and the program just simply don't work. You know, the magnetometers don't work, the trimags don't work, the magnetosphere sensors don't work, the muon detectors do not work. You've got to get it absolutely right, and that is an incredible amount of pressure. That's why it took me 2 years to develop the trimag system. And I didn't make it easy for myself, because you know what? I wanted to go down the wireless route, and that doubled my troubles for me. It was only determination that got us the trimag system up and running. And then, because of the discipline, you know, we was able to then extend some of that program to the magnetosphere sensors, and then the magnetometers that are out in the field right today. You know, I just want to say, guys, look at that jet stream wrapping itself around our equatorial region. You can see that we don't have normally, on the diagram in the top right hand side of the screen, we don't have jet streams normally wrapping around the Earth at the equatorial region. This jet stream that we're looking at is being fed directly off Antarctica. You can see that cold air is being fed right up into the equatorial region and forming that huge, probably 2,000 mile wide jet stream. There is no regular pattern to our jet streams anymore on this Earth, and don't be complacent about it, because we are about to witness a changing of our planet right before our eyes, which is going to start really seriously affecting a lot of people on this planet. And I'm not just talking about crop production that is now going offline, and you know, they are struggling to keep that information from being in the media, simply because a lot of people like myself on YouTube are informing as many people as we can about it. Guys, don't be complacent. That's all I'm saying. Do not be complacent. This is our home, and it's a rare place in our solar system and even universe. We can't hop off this planet once we break it, go to another one and set up home. It's not going to happen. We've got this one, and it's got to last us. Guys, if you want us to help support the observatory, there's a link down there. And you know what, guys, just give it some thought what I've mentioned today. Don't be complacent. Don't keep turning up the heat in the frying pan and slow boiling yourself. You know, pay attention to what's going on out there. Links down there if you want to help support the observatory and what we do. And I'll say what I usually do, and that is have a great day. As always, bye for now.